Essendon are fascinating. Lots of off-field changes. Let's take a look at some of them. New coach Brad Scott as well in the helm. Of course, new president, new CEO. Some moves that were touted didn't happen. Still same recruiter, still same head of footy, but the winds of change are starting to go through. Enough change, Caro, Kane, and then of course Matthew. And where do you see them going into the year?
You know, I've been supportive of what David's made some errors. He understands he's made some errors, but I think they're fantastic changes, the majority of them, in terms of starting the climb back up to be a respected footy club. You have to have all your key appointments done really, really well. The players had made excuses for so long because the off-field's hasn't been as good as it could have been. There's no more excuses anymore for the players, and we'll get to that very shortly.
So it's staggering to me that Kevin Sheedy is still on the board after his comments last year when Brad Scott got appointed. He did an interview with Mark Robinson saying he didn't support the appointment. He wanted James Hird. Terrible, terrible timing. Stupid thing to say. Hard for me to understand how he remains on the board. I understand he's a legend of the game in the club, and there are great things at Essendon only because of Kevin Sheedy. But I think when we get to the end of this year and Sheeds' term is up, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
He's being used entirely in the wrong role, isn't he? Of all of his amazing skills, that would be his
I think the response to his comments shocked even him. I think he thought he was being a populist as well as saying what he really thought about James Hird. I think Essendon supporters turned on him too. Obviously, Adrian Dodoro is still there. We had heard many times that he was on the skids. He's been there for a long time. Recruiting has not been good there for a long time. Essendon are just insisting that the player development is as much to blame as the recruiting. So that's another watch this space for me, Matthew. And we still don't think there's a great relationship between the head of footy and the head of recruiting.
Massive issues for some players going there. Pressure on Jake Stringer. You've been critical.
Well, there always is.
And then Tipper's return will be fascinating.
Yeah, I'm strong on the fact that Jake Stringer turned up day one of pre-season, unfit and out of shape, and it's no surprise that he's been and it's no surprises that he's been ruled out for round one and he's had an interrupted pre-season. Now there's Anthony McDonald-Tipungwuti, which is a great story, and we hope it goes well. But once again, to me, the eye would tell you that he looks out of shape, and if you are not in shape, I think Brad Scott as a new coach, Zach Merritt as a new captain, says to those players, you're not eligible for selection until you're fit, because that's what Chris Scott would do with Patrick Dangerfield and they win a premiership. Doesn't matter if it's mid-season, you do a 6-week block of training. Until you hit fitness and body shape requirements, you're not eligible for selection. And Lordo, they've said that they're probably not in the finals mix. So I don't know why there's nothing to gain by setting a harder standard at Essendon.
Couldn't agree more with Kane that now's the time to do it, because every other player will be sitting back. There might be the 17-year-old or the 18-year-old sitting back going, OK, Tipper's got a game this week. He's done every session. Tipper has done every session, but that to me doesn't look like an AFL match.
It's a road back for him, though. He'll take some time, Tipper.
Yeah, but he can take the time through the VFL. He doesn't have to be automatic selection for round one, as good a story as it is.